I started to figure out how to paint, I just feel like the floodgates opened and I have all these things in my mind that I'm trying to get out. I'm Carmen Rosa, and I'm a painter. I was always into fantasy since I was little. I was into fantasy, anime, all kinds of cartoons. I've always been a big daydreamer. So I was born in Puerto Rico. My whole family, we're all from Puerto Rico. And so my father joined the military, and he was in the military. He retired, so he was, he did his whole career. But yeah, we basically moved every few years. When I was 18 years old, my parents split up, and we went back to Puerto Rico with my mom. So after being raised in the States my whole life, I ended up in Puerto Rico for my senior year in an all-Spanish school. That affected a lot of things. We had a hard time in Puerto Rico. Those 7 years, I'd say those were pretty rough 7 years. But I did hang out with a lot of people, a lot of troubled kids, kind of, and so we kind of stuck together. I feel like maybe I identified a lot with people that had issues like that. I kind of felt like I was sticking to my own. I always felt like I was a little bit of a loner. It does take me a long time to make friends. I know my work is dark. I do love surrealism. I love, tattoo art, anything kind of dark, horror, fantasy. And as an adult, I kind of stopped drawing for quite some years, just while I worked on my career. I'm a respiratory therapist, so and we're one of the frontline healthcare workers when it comes to battling COVID too. We respond to all the emergencies in the hospital. Anytime there's a cardiac arrest, our respiratory therapist is on the team. We maintain the airway, we intubate the patients, we put patients on ventilators, and we run the ventilators, so we run the life support machines. I feel like it does have a big influence on my work. One of the other things that we do too is like when people come off of life support, so usually the respiratory therapist is the one that comes in and does it. But yeah, I think death does play a big role in my art. And one of the things that started everything was just a little Grim Reaper that I started drawing. Once I started to figure out how to paint, I just feel like the floodgates opened and I have all these things in my mind that I'm trying to get out. Working night shift, I'll work 3 times a week. And then of course it's kind of hard because then you're sleeping during the day. And then, you've got kids, I got to take care of the house, the family. So I've got to deal with, make sure everyone's taken care of and make sure my work is taken care of before I finally get the time to sit down. I do actually bring my backpack full of all of my sketchbooks, and I have that at work with me constantly. So if I ever have any downtime, I'm usually drawing. And I kind of use the art as a way to kind of wind down too, because sometimes my job does get stressful. Sometimes, there's some things that can really affect you, some things that you see. It does let me appreciate life more, and it lets me appreciate my family and understand exactly what I have. There's nights where I come home and I want to hug my children. I like to kind of just reset, when I relax, I listen to some music, I put my headphones in, I start drawing. It's almost like therapy, I guess I could say. It's really helped me feel better about myself. It's helped me get a lot of things out of my head, get a lot of things off my chest. I always feel like there's almost a kind of beauty in sadness, and I like to paint that.